Good evening, C3 parents. I am so sorry that you had to wait. I had created problems for myself. I need to sort out the link. So if you just give me a moment that I can share the right link for everybody. And while we are waiting, please let me know that you're here. Please say hi. Um, I want to say thank you to everybody so far that is here, that has been supporting this channel. It has been absolutely amazing to have everybody here and to get feedback. Guys, please just at least comment down below in the comments below, because at this point in time, we we I get comments on the sidelines and not on the videos, and the comments and the likes and all of those things truly helps this channel move forward, and actually informs other people that hey, we're live and it's worth to come and join the conversation. And move to trash. All right. Okay, so I am going to download this and edit it and make it all nice and beautiful. But tonight I am going to bare a little bit of my soul, share a bit of me as a parent. I've had many a time had a client say, you know what, you know all these things, and you must be the perfect parent. Because it seems like you've got everything under control. Now, if you're one of my closest friends, you'll know that is a complete myth. I don't have everything under control. Yes, there's certain things that I do due to practice and due to research that I've practiced to get there. But trust me, I have made a fair share of mistakes, and tonight I am just going to share some of the mistakes while we talk about the process of you know what, we all mess up, and we all need to find ways to rebuild our relationship with our kids. So if you're watching this in the replay, please type in #replay so that I know that you are watching after the fact. And like I said, I will upload a new version of this after I've edited it. We're slowly but surely getting back to normal this side. So let me dive into one of my latest parenting mishaps. Now, in our household and in our family, eating has been a battlefield. And I know, as a parenting coach, one of the first things that we say to parents when when they say, "Oh, my kid doesn't want to eat," or those kind of things, is do not create a battlefield regarding food. You don't want to create food relationship issues, and you know how everything fits together. And we've got a neurodiverse kid, which means textures and smells and things like that actually really influences eldest quite significantly. But we are in a new country, which means some flavors need to change now, and we need to try new things. And with all the change and everything like that, I was honestly not checking in with myself. So that was mistake number one. I wasn't doing check-ins with myself, and I was really in a bad emotional space. And I was cooking, and I was actually, it's ironic, but when I'm working or processing emotions, a lot of times I go to the kitchen, whether to bake, whether to cook. And here's the irony: I can be in a bad emotional space and I'll cook and I'll bake. I can be in a good emotional space and I want to bake and I want to cook. So in general, if I'm on the two sides of the spectrum, the kitchen's my place. Anyway, so I've spent I think I spent about 2 hours making this new meal, trying new things, and really excited because I've actually was capable of putting all the elements of what eldest likes in the meal. And when they found out that what I was cooking, I made the dinner that I made, it was a complete meltdown, and not for both of us. They decided, no, but I don't want to eat this. This is not what I wanted. I just wanted burger and chips, and I wanted McDonald's. and completely dysregulated. And I just lost my cool, because this was, I think, about the third or the fourth night in a row where that was the reaction that I got. So what did I do? In my infinite wisdom, I walked over to the front door, opened the front door, and almost screaming at my kid, told him, you know what? You see there's a door? If you don't like what I have made for dinner, go out, go knock on the neighbors' doors and find out if they are willing to feed you. And then obviously they were like hectically upset and like walked away from me and starting to shout at me even more. And I'm like, but I'm serious, go, just go. And Habitron stepped in and was like, whoa, I think you're being a bit harsh. And I looked at him and was like, I'm done with this. I am so done with this. I cannot do this anymore. I don't want to do this anymore. It's taking away all the joy of cooking, and everything is just wrong. And so Arbitron kind of sent me back to the kitchen and took Eldest and spoke to Eldest and helped him to calm down, and then helped me to come and basically talk me off the ledge. And then I had to go and apologize and really think about what I did. And the funny, I think that the bit that to me that was the funniest of it all is I can just imagine what it looked like to our kids. I'm in general not someone that reacts in that explosive way, because in general I try to check in with myself emotionally and all that, but I don't always get it right. And here I'm exploding about food and telling him, go knock on the neighbors. And we are in a new country. We are in a strange new country. And I'm sending him out on the street to go fend for himself because I was upset. And I can laugh about it now, and he laughs about it as well. Tease me about the fact that, you lost your cool. But every time that we don't like your food, do we need to go knock at the neighbor's door? And I think two things like that played in my head after I've calmed down. Was the first thing is I need to go repair what I've done. So went to apologize, we talked through everything through, and then we actually worked towards a solution that will work for both of us. And ever since then, I've found my eldest in the kitchen with me, usually while I'm cooking dinner, trying to help out here and there. It's tapered down now a bit, now that he trusts the kitchen again, and he trusts the situation again. But it took us a good solid 2 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks, for both of us just to kind of move past this big explosion where his place of safety kicked him out. And I threatened. And the second thing that I found when I actually had time to think and process is, what would I have done if he did decide, okay, well, I'm going to go knock on the neighbor's door. Can you, we're the new people, we're from a foreign country. And his kid knocks on the door, like, hello, can I eat with you tonight? Anyway, so that was one of personally, in the past year or so, I think one of my most vulnerable and worst parenting moments that I could have had. I know I could have handled it better. I know that exploding at my kid isn't the right way to do that. I know all these things. And every now and again, we get stuck in a space where the things we know that we should do just kind of walks out on us, and it's just not there. It went next door and went to knock, like, hey, will you feed me? So that was one of my personal biggest parenting bloopers, or it wasn't even a blooper. It was, I'm not allowed to swear on this platform, am I? But you can say you'll understand. It was one of my biggest parenting mistakes that I've made was, and it took us 3 weeks to try and heal that issues that it created, the distrust, the sensitivity to the situation. And I think the reason, an added reason why it took us that long, is with the transition of moving over. A lot of times, we as parents and adults were very focused, inwardly focused. We had to get the next thing done. We were in crisis mode. We moved from one house to the next, living with friends, sharing space, which absolutely amazing people. It really was. It was a good experience living with them. No complaints about that. It's the transient space that the kids felt that they couldn't put down roots. And added to that, if you immigrate or if you leave a country and you go to another country, you really downsize a lot, so you get rid of a lot of things. And our kids, our one kid specifically, whose love language is gifts and material articles and things, really took it very hard that they had to let go of things that they've collected. They had collections upon collections of the most random rocks and pieces of tree and leaves, and they could tell you a story about every single piece, and they had to leave it behind. So we were in this space, and we were in this space for about 6 months or so, that we were like literally in the in between. And right before we left, my brother passed away. So that inward, like, I'm busy trying to lift my roots and trying to keep myself going and figuring out everything. Lost my brother, even a bit more pulled into myself, literally a week before we left. And then we had to, no, week and a half, and then we had to move, and we're in the new country, and now we're trying to settle in and find our feet. But what happened in our home, instead of being consistently connected with our kids and consistently checking in on them and doing the things that I know that I need to do, Habitron doing the things that he knows he has to do, and even as spouses checking in on each other, we didn't really do it as often as we used to. So I think the build up to that explosion was just one of complete and utter disconnect from everybody, from my kids, from my husband, even from myself, because it was a lot to deal with. Does it justify or excuse the explosion? Not at all. So it's not a justification. It's just a reality. I lost control over my emotions. I messed up royally. But that disconnect, that long-term period of disconnect that we experienced with each other, created a deeper hurt when I lost control over my emotions, than what it would have if we were intimate, like we were closely connected. So that is unfortunately one of the realities, and it's well, I'm just not perfect. So before I share a next big blooper of myself, please let me know if you guys are there. Say hello. Give a shout out to your friends or anybody if you have any parenting questions, or if you just feel like being vulnerable and sharing some of your own parenting mistakes. So if you have a question of how can I handle XYZ situation, you're more than welcome to drop it in the comments down. I would love to help you and support you in that whole thing. And let's get on to the next blooper that I made. Now, I'm just checking my notes to make sure I've got the all right, so rewind a couple of years ago, with our sensory kid. We've got a kid that is gets ton of like fixated on things, and then yes, hi Janine. And the truth is that we will probably remember it far more than. No, I don't know. I think that the incident of me chasing him out of the house to go find food from the neighbors, might be might be the story that gets shared, around the Christmas time and say, "Do you remember the day that mom did this?" But hopefully, it becomes a like tongue in cheek, like, you see, you're not perfect kind of memory, instead of a yeah, basically a memory that has fondness, even within we can find fondness in the sadness of it. Just, unless that goes back to, yeah, well, oh yeah, she's lost it. But absolutely, I miss you, Janine. I actually I can see your face, like sharing that. Oh, she's lost it. But all right, so with our sensory kid touching and touching everything, and our youngest trying to explore the shops, because shopping with mom is fun. Um, I had the situation of, I told eldest to hold on to the shopping trolley. So oldest is holding on to the shopping trolley, and youngest is running around. And I run, go catch youngest, put youngest in the trolley and in the little seat thing. And I'm busy, like, speaking through my teeth, gritting my teeth, like, "Listen here, you better start listening to me now. It's done now." Trolley full of stuff. We barely had any food in the house because the kids were going through a bad patch, and I didn't want to take them out in public. And then reached a point where I have to take them out in public. Um, so we were all basically set up to fail. So I was like, that kind of face that we make to our kids when we're like, you better listen to me. And I'm pushing the trolley, and I realize, but eldest is not with me. Or at least I can't see eldest. And when I look down, he used to, as a toddler, hold on to the back of the trolley, literally lying flat on the floor behind the trolley, and then you push the trolley, and so he was like covered in dirt, head to toe. He's on the front trying to do that, and I drove with the trolley over him, a bit over him. Huge tantrum, huge fight. Now I've got a kid crying in the trolley, in the trolley, crying under the trolley, and I just stood there, and I'm like, I just hope, of all hopes, that this does not make social media. I think the worst part is, it took me a while to calm down enough to actually apologize to my kid that I drove over with the trolley over him, because every bit in me wanted to say to him at that particular point in time, well, I'm not going to apologize. You're the one that made that choice. And I was about to say saying, "You're the one that made the choice," when youngest called me over, crying that he wants to get out. So I didn't have the opportunity, but I did say to youngest, "Well, I need to deal with your brother because he decided not to listen. So he got ran over with the trolley, and now everybody is looking at us." As if my 2.5-year-old can solve the issue of being the spectacle in the middle of the shops. So obviously, finally got them calmed down. Thinking back of it, I'm like, really? I am that mom that loses track of her kids within a couple of seconds. And then my child isn't the kid that runs out into the street. No, no, no. I'm the one that drives with the trolley over my kid because I didn't see him, because I wasn't paying attention. So that was really one of those moments where I'm like, you know what? I don't know how I'm going to get these kids grown up, like, keep them alive in this whole world that we're living in. I'm a bigger danger to my own kids than what they are to themselves. So it was a situation where I think I felt lost that day, and at that particular point in time, I actually questioned my ability to be a parent. Um, and it's it's that flow, that flow of questioning our own ability to be a parent. I'm just quickly going to look at the comments. That must be harder for today's parents with little ones. No mass social media back in my day. So much. Yes, I think that is one of the reasons why I'm also having these conversations. Beside the fact that I don't, on social media, I don't share my kids' photos, or we'll share little snips, tidbits of what they've done, but never their faces and all of that. So there's this question of, first of all, am I a parent? Yes, I am. I've got 2 kids. But the other thing is, often I share tips and tricks and how to get things done, and how to find your zen as a parent, and how to find your balance as a parent. That a lot of people think that I'm perfect, and I'm not. I've made so many other mistakes, so many random mistakes as a parent. I've done things that afterwards you just think like, and you call yourself a parenting coach. Okay, then. Those kind of things really courses through our minds, and really challenges the way that I try to approach things. But it is important also for people to know that no, I'm not perfect. Yes, I have a lot of knowledge. Yes, I can teach you a lot. But no, I am definitely not someone that will get everything perfect 100% of the time. And the last thing that I wanted to share is the last part that I would like to share is, I just need to to check which one we are going to share. Oh, okay. So another latest blooper. This almost seems a little bit harmless, but the reality is, I don't think at that particular point in time for my kid, that it was harmless. I know in the long run, it's a blip on the radar, but we've always been a homeschooling family. And now in the new country, our kids needs to go to school, and youngest is in a school, and super excited. The teacher's birthday is coming up, and they're having this whole class birthday thing. And here they have this whole, you're in as parents on a WhatsApp group, and then you've got the class parent, or the class mom, or mom or dad, that communicates things to us. And one of the things I said, okay, no, you know what, just send like X amount of money to the school, and then as a class they'll buy a gift for the teacher. You're welcome. And it says like, you're welcome to give something personal as well if you feel like it, or if you want to, but it's not necessary. The class is contributing to buy a nice, or to give the teacher a nice gift. So with youngest being 6 years old, he asked me 3 times before the teacher's birthday, can we make a card for the teacher? Can we make a card? I want to make something for the teacher. And I'm like, yes, we'll do it. Come the afternoon, he comes come from school, run, everything. Well, here they've got school until 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and then it's like rush to get home, get everything sorted, give them a bit of a break, and then make dinner and try to get everything sorted out. So every single time it slipped my mind, and then we'll get a reminder, okay, that the birthday's coming up, for those who haven't paid yet. So the time came up. So the morning of the birthday party, I took my kid to school, very excited. It's the whole, they got a little nice invite from the whole day's planned for them to just have fun and games, and literally have a birthday party at the school. Really excited, very excited with him. Walk to school, get there, and he walks into the class, and he asked me, wait at the window so you can wave me goodbye. I'm like, okay, fine. And as I walk to the window, I'm like, well, all the kids are sitting in a little circle, and some kids have, a little piece of paper on their hand or whatever, but there's another teacher with a stack of papers and stuff in her hand. So assuming that, well, since every kid roundabout has a little piece of paper, paper, like a nice drawing or whatever in their hand, that this teacher is just handing out little nice thingies for the kids to give to the teacher, to the actual to the birthday teacher. Sit there, and youngest walks in, and he stops in the doorway, and he looks at everybody, and you can see like goes all slumped, and he was literally the only kid in his class that didn't make something personal for his teacher, because this mom just forgot. It completely flew out of my mind. And there was a part of me that wanted to save the day, race to the shops, go buy something for her, do something. And there was a part of me like, oh, maybe I should allow him to experience the disappointment. And I think I sat in my car for about a good 20 to 30 minutes trying to figure out, what am I supposed to do in this situation. So they get a lunch break where they can come home. At lunch, I asked him, listen, do you quickly want to make something for your teacher? And I think that was the harshest slap that I ever, like emotional slap that I ever got from him. He just pulled up his shoulders and said, whatever, it probably doesn't matter anymore. And I just sat there and like, I am a horrible mom. I have failed my kid because he's only 6. How are they supposed to remember these things? And I'm supposed to, make a list and write things down. And here I missed this. And it was a big thing for him. So after the day, I did apologize. I did not go and buy a gift. I did not go and bail him out. And the reason I didn't do it wasn't to teach him something or to, some epic thing. The big thing is he wanted to give her something that he had made, not something that was bought. So it still would have rang hollow. And during the lunch, not during lunch, after school, we had a long conversation about mom's fallibility and inability to remember things. Now we've got a calendar finally up, and every time that there's some information he wants to give me, it's like, write it down now so that mommy can remember. But he then actually made a little something and gave it to her the next day out of his own, and with that whole thing. And he actually did say, well, he's okay with the fact that I didn't buy something. He's like, it would have been nice, but it wouldn't have been from me. So I'm glad that in my head, I made the move or the choice of not giving it. It doesn't mean it was the perfect parenting moment. I've literally dropped the ball on him, but we were able to resolve it. And I think in the long run, when we look at, and I think this is what I want to say in conclusion tonight, is, you know what, life is tough, and life can be funny, and life can be a total B-rated movie disaster. And we all have those days. And we look at social media and we see these perfectly dressed, matchy parents photos on Instagram, and we see the judgment parents get for making mistakes, for having an absent moment, for when something happens to their kids that others think is completely preventable, but it happened in a split second and it might have had disastrous consequences. We live in a world where we are, in a sense, disconnected as a village, yet everybody feels like they're under the vergrootglas. Now I can't get to the right word. If you have the right word for vergrootglas, please type it into the comments. I can't find the word now. Anyway, I'm going to carry on. Someone will give me the word. Where you're constantly being scrutinized in your parenting, and it makes parenting so much more stressful. So today, I'm sharing this to tell you, guys, you know what? People, we are human and we're going to make mistakes. Sometimes we're the raging banshee that tells a kid, opens the front door and tells a kid, listen here, go knock on the neighbor's doors and get your own food. Sometimes we forget the birthday card. Sometimes we don't even see our kids and we drive with them over the trolley. But in all of this, in all our mistakes, and I can spend a whole video and a whole conversation on how do we apologize to our kids. The important thing of being human is taking ownership of the fact that we are not perfect and being able to go apologize to our kids, being able to walk over to our kids and say, you know what, I honestly messed up. And focusing on reconnecting with our kids if that apology still didn't heal everything or didn't rebuild the relationship back to where it's supposed to be, making the effort to pause and reconnect with our kids, because that's how we heal relationships. That is how we build a relationship that lasts into their adulthood, into a space where we can still be raw, but we have grace for each other. I want my kids to understand that, or to learn how to have grace for others. And the only space that they're going to learn that is me having grace for them and them learning what grace looks like by me being human and taking ownership of the things that I've done wrong or that I do wrong. And I can honestly say, yes, I probably mess up on things that I don't even realize that they experience as wrong. And I do make mistakes that I probably missed the cues on. And I expect that when they're adults or when they are in their teens, they will look around and say, hey, you know what, whatever, you did this and this and this and this wrong. And I expect of them to do that for me. And I honestly believe that from how I'm trying to parent and from the person that I'm trying to be for them, that I will take ownership of it without justifying it, and hopefully keep our relationship healthy and strong and connected with each other. I'm quickly going to read some more of the comments, and if you guys have anything more to say, remember to like the video. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, do it now, share with your friends, and thank you for being here tonight. I'm quickly just going to read one or two comments. He said, what about the times you did not drop the ball? It takes time to have all systems back in place after a move. That kind of magnifying glass. Thank you, Janine. It's a magnifying. For groot glas is a magnifying glass. I didn't. I know, Jen. I always had a calendar on my. It's a huge pleasure. Oh, Shannon, thank you for watching. It's really awesome having you here. I always had, like, in our house. I'm glad you caught me too. I always had a calendar in my house, like on the wall and on the fridge, and we kept track of things. And with the move, I literally, like a couple of days ago, finally got a calendar back on my fridge. I felt lost for the past 3 or 4 months without a calendar to write things down on, actually physically see it in front of me. I'm one of those people that repel technology. I just have a way of breaking it. I know I can use Google Calendar and all of that, but if I can't physically see it, yes, I kill trees apparently. Because if I don't see it physically in front of me on a piece of paper, like in a place where I can constantly see it, I do forget things. No, I can't. Someone said to me, I need to, for my social media, I need to work on a thing that I can plan things on, like on the phone. It lasted a week. It lasted me a week, and then I got lost because I didn't get to all the to-do lists. And so I'm glad I'm back to paper, to at least a calendar in front of me. So yay for that, because otherwise I think I don't function without a calendar. And I'm one of those procrastinators that thinks that, yes, I'm successful because I've planned everything. And yes, it does, or at least I've written everything in the calendar. But I actually do hit hit my marks more often, or like achieve my goals more often if I've got it written in the calendar than if I just have this idea floating about in my head or floating on my phone. I just really bad with technology. I've reached the age where there's certain things about technology that I'm just not gonna learn. You can quickly read here. I forgot. Janine says she forgot the youngest at the school twice. Janine, at least I know that youngest really loves you and doesn't hold it against you. So, but he probably reminds you every now and again, like, yeah. You think you did this. Yes, I have so many calendars too many sometimes. I need to see mine. Oh, I'm glad I'm not alone. I can't do I forget. I forget to transfer things over to the electronic. And the Habitron is so used to me not functioning on the electronic calendars. We tried we considered the Google Link Up thingy, and I think that's about as far as we got. We considered it, and then we realized who he's trying to link up with, and then we just laughed. It's just been one of those. Anyway, guys, I started making my calendar on Google Docs, and then I can. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I haven't really done the Google Docs calendar thing. With the I'm scared that it will do what Microsoft Word does the moment you put in a table. It just completely squits out. So I haven't tried that yet. I have tried the calendar thing on the spreadsheet, the Google Sheets one. I've tried to do that, and then halfway through, I'm like, is the block big enough? And I get pedantic and OCD, and I just overcomplicate everything. But yeah, I'm going to try that again. I'll try the sheets again. Like I said, I repel tech. Oh, okay, I repel technology in the sense that I will be the one that gets the dud technology, the phone that does, like, I can be right next to the Wi-Fi and it doesn't connect, or we try a new setup, like tonight, try a new setup and the camera just doesn't want to work with me. The things like that just seems to go wrong. And it's probably because my head is extremely disorganized. So that is please share feel free to share your challenges and, things that you feel like, okay, I've you know what, I'm part of the group of parents that owns the fact that I've crashed and burned. And thank you for the love and the care, and I love you all. And okay, well, one last comment. I have a niece who has the same problem. I'm so glad I'm not alone. I am so glad to know that I am not alone. And I promise you, it can be brand new. And for some other reason, mine will be the one that gives the problems. It's the same reason I'm not allowed to get the pets in our household, because I get the special ones. The ones that is just not that tad bit off. We had a cat that didn't, like, their GPS is broken. We had a dog that Janine and them were taking care of those puppers. We had a dog that just didn't want to be trained no matter what we did. And it's just I apparently just I'm not allowed to make choices anymore. That's basically, I shouldn't make any choices. I shouldn't be the one that picks stuff. Anyway, so guys, have absolutely beautiful evening. And for those who's not in the evening, have a beautiful day. Thank you for checking in. I love every one of you. Please stay safe. Wash your hands. We have passed. Well, most places passed the. Yes, Janine. See. Yeah, she trains you. Yeah, they do. Um, wash your hands. Some places are past the stage of wearing masks. To my South African family and friends, guys, wear your masks. Good luck with this new lockdown, this new stress. When you're ready, when you're eligible to get your vaccine, please go get vaccinated. Let's fight this together, because as long as there is still such a big percentage in the world that's not vaccinated, this virus will keep on mutating. Let's try and work together to get everybody as safe as possible, as soon as possible. And I love you guys, and I'll see you guys in 2 weeks' time. Have a good one.